The text arrived while I was waiting for water to boil. Steam fogged the kitchen window, softening the city into blur and light. I wiped my hands on a towel before picking up my phone, already bracing for something, another passive-aggressive check-in, maybe, or silence pretending to be peace. Instead, it was formal. Clean cold. We disown you. From now on, communicate through our lawyer. Below it, my sister added a single heart emoji, red and intact. Like punctuation she didn't understand. I stood there longer than the kettle needed. I noticed small things instead: the chipped mug by the sink, the hum of the fridge, the way my chest didn't tighten the way it used to. There was shock, yes, but it was distant, like hearing about an accident on a street you no longer walk. I typed one word. Okay. I didn't add a period. I didn't explain. I didn't ask which lawyer. I set the phone face down and poured the water. My hands were steady enough that surprised me. For years I'd lived inside anticipation. Anticipating disappointment, anticipating punishment, anticipating the exact angle of their disapproval. Even when I was doing well, I was rehearsing apologies for things that hadn't happened yet. That muscle memory didn't disappear immediately. It twitched. It asked me if I was sure. I drank my tea while the family group chat stayed silent. The first hour felt hollow. The second felt strange. By the third, the quiet began to feel intentional. Like a room I had locked from the inside. I went about my day without checking my phone every 5 minutes. I answered emails. I took a walk. I noticed how my shoulders sat lower than usual. What they assumed, what they always assumed, was that cutting me off would trigger panic. That I'd call, beg, explain myself into smaller and smaller shapes until they were comfortable again. That my sister's heart emoji would sting, just enough to bring me back into line. They didn't know how much work I'd already done to prepare for a day like this. Not out of rebellion. Out of exhaustion. The paperwork had started months earlier, quietly. A consultation here. Copies there, nothing dramatic. Just competence. I'd learned that survival in my family come from confrontation. It came from readiness. That night, I slept deeply. No dreams, no rehearsals. 24 hours later, my phone rang. Mom. I watched it vibrate until it stopped. A minute later, a voicemail notification appeared. Then a text from my sister: we need to talk. No heart this time. I listened to the voicemail later, when I was ready. My mother sounded different, faster, unanchored. She mentioned misunderstandings, timelines, legal confusion. She asked why I hadn't responded. She said my name twice at the end, softer, like an incantation. What changed wasn't my silence. It was that their lawyer had called them back, not with threats. With information. Apparently, disowning someone doesn't freeze reality. It doesn't pause accounts mid-motion or stop processes already underway. It doesn't undo signatures or revoke standing. There are consequences to declarations, even cold ones typed in haste. The authority didn't raise its voice. It didn't shame them. It simply clarified what now belonged to whom, and what no longer did. That was the moment control shifted. Not with a slam, but with a click. My sister texted again, more carefully this time. Let's just clear things up. There's been a lot of confusion. I didn't answer right away. I sat with the urge to smooth things over, to absorb discomfort so others wouldn't have to. I let it crest and fall like a wave I no longer needed to ride. When I did respond, it was brief. Please communicate through your lawyer, as requested. It felt almost impersonal. It was also true. I didn't feel victorious. I felt tired, and oddly sad, not for what I lost, but for how long it took me to stop offering myself as collateral. There was no montage of redemption. No apology that fixed everything. Just a clearer line between what I was responsible for and what I wasn't. Later my mother tried again. A shorter voicemail this time. Less panic, more calculation. I deleted it without listening. The quiet that followed wasn't empty. It was structured. It had edges. Some nights, I still wondered if I'd been too cold. If one more conversation might have salvaged something. Those thoughts didn't vanish just because I stood my ground. They lingered, unresolved. Like furniture I hadn't decided whether to keep, but I no longer rearranged my life around them. Weeks passed. The lawyer emails arrived and were answered. Boundaries held. My sister stopped texting. My parents stopped calling. The world didn't end. It narrowed, then steadied. One afternoon, I unlocked my phone and saw no new messages from them. I smiled, not because I'd won, but because for the first time, the silence felt like mine. And that was only the beginning.